Welcome back to GloryHunter. We turned a corner and accelerated away from it in yesterday's episode, and we're looking to continue that momentum today in the Premier League and in the Carabao Cup as we look to seal 4 trophies this year if we can, against, starting with Aston Villa and then against Crystal Palace and Newcastle, who are chasing the top spots in the table. But at the minute, the top spot in the table sits with someone you wouldn't expect it to. Leeds United lead the way, if you'll pardon the pun, at the top of the table after 8 games, where they've won 7 and lost only a single game thus far. We sit 4th, just 5 points off top, 3 points off second, and could close that gap if results go our way today in the Premier League in the 2 games we have. We'll also simulate the game against Marseille in the Champions League at the beginning of the next month as well, to make that a bit more straightforward. The home game against Marseille we'll do the interactive match sim with, and we should get a victory in that game too. So looking for 4 straight wins today. We have 3 straight wins in the bag with the last episode. 3 straight clean sheets, should I say. With regards a win streak, it's actually 7 in all competitions. So long may that continue, and long may your viewing eyes continue to enjoy the save. If you are, drop the video a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel. You won't miss out on any more. Let's head to Villa Park. They're bottom of the table, so this one should be a win. So watch Villa play like Leeds and batter me. Just FIFA things. Villa line up in a 4-3-3, and they have a decent side. It's certainly not a side that you would imagine would be where they are in the table. Bogdan back in goal. Kesler Hayden, Calvin Bassey, Levi Colwill and Alejandro Balde as the back 4. Joao Polina holding with Fred and Viniato in the midfield. Then Jacopo Gallo at centre forward, although he is basically in a striking position, with Acuna on the right and Sulemana on the left. Even their youth-generated players are of decent quality, so it's a surprise to see Villa with just 3 points so far in the year. Cole Palmer starts, Rodri and De Bruyne get the nod, and Kabore starts as well. So a little bit of a rotation, but still making sure that the majority of the key players are in the team to ensure that we get the win here and continue to march on back towards the top of the table, which is, of course, where we want to end the season. Phil Foden, all told, been quite quiet so far this season, Phil Foden. Certainly expected more of him. Or keeps. Maybe that's why they're where they are in the league. Certainly expected more of Phil Foden so far this season, but haven't seen it. Dembele finding some space, finding De Bruyne. He's gone again. That's a perfectly Kevin De Bruyne pass. Dembele can't quite pull it back. De Bruyne. Cole Palmer. Foden. Bit of space for the shot, but it is poor when it comes. Oh, it took a deflection. All right, fair enough. I'll let you off. Foden delivers. Can we get a goal from the set piece instead? Colwill back to him. I see Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer! Poor. Balde. Okay, Kabore stepped in there to try and get it and just entirely missed the ball. Sulemana gives Aston Villa a 1-0 lead. Dear Mr. Kabore, have you seen a football before? I know you've not played much for me this year, but surely you know what is a football and what is thin air. And Edison doesn't save anything. He's bloody near post, does he? Stevie G, now obviously not in a job. And to be honest, with the start to the season Villa have had in this save, probably would have been sacked if there was that sort of system in the save as well. Joao Cancelo. Dembele skips past his man, De Bruyne. Haaland, Foden needs to make the run around the corner and has done. Dembele will look for him early here. It's not the best of passes, though. It was certainly behind Phil Foden. He's drawn a challenge there that the referee actually deems legal. They might be opening up here for Villa again. In they come on the counter. Acuna down the line. He's got some pace. He's in the box. Diaz doing just enough. Hands behind his back to ensure no handball was given against him. De Bruyne to Rodri. And out wide to Kabore, who this time will take a touch of the football, so he does know that footballs exist. Just that previously he decided not to take a touch of one. Foden over the top looking for the runner Dembele, who will get there first and look for Haaland, but it's a poor ball inside. Dembele. Foden's come short. Haaland is there, but this is not the situation that Erling thrives on for me. He's just caught in a tight space, doesn't have the opportunity to open up those legs. But Kevin De Bruyne, it's normally the other way around. It's normally De Bruyne to Haaland in real life. This time it's reversed in FIFA. Kevin doesn't play that much for me now in the twilight of his career. But questions whether Haaland was onside there, actually. But it's a brilliant finish from the Belgian, and we are level here. And for VAR purposes, we will have a look at that pass to Haaland again and see if he was on or off. And thanks to the man that's in front of Joao Cancelo there, he is onside. To Dembele, De Bruyne, Erling. Dembele again, looking to cut that back to Kevin De Bruyne. Can't do so. Finding only Haaland. Never mind. Dembele, Foden. Excellent footwork. And De Bruyne is in again. Kevin De Bruyne. Oh! He's offside. It would have been a calamitous own goal for Aston Villa, but the goal won't count. Kevin De Bruyne, I think the man adjudged to be offside as the ball came through to him. This time, the defensive line for Aston Villa does work. Again, for VAR purposes, we will have a look. It must have been close. Foden, that's just a FIFA engine thing. If Foden, when he takes this touch here, plays the pass, he's like Cruyff turn, then put his right foot through the ball and then plays De Bruyne, who, as the ball is played, that's when it should have been played, and he's actually played there. And of course, De Bruyne by that point was beyond the defensive line. Acuna with a free kick here for Villa. They finally got the ball in our half this second half and towards goal. And we were all waiting for that to loop over Ederson and go straight to the back of the net. Dembele looking for Foden. Or lift it for Erling. Oh, and he is going to get there ahead of Calvin Bassey. Mistake from the defender and a costly one. Manchester City 2, Aston Villa 0. For all the world, if there was a defender on this pitch that could deal with the pace and strength of Erling Haaland, it was going to be Calvin Bassey. But he's tried to take control of the ball there with his left foot and just missed it. It's devastating from Erling Haaland. Again, for replay purposes, watch Bassey here. He sticks his left foot in to try... I'm not sure if he's trying to step across Erling, maybe to outmuscle him, or trying to take a touch of the ball. But he just, quite frankly, I think he's trying to take a touch of the ball, and he just, quite frankly, misses it, misjudges the bounce, can't reach it, and Erling nods it on. A mistake from Villa that lets us in and might well see them stay bottom of the table. Kessler Hayden on the run. Ousmane Dembele causing him all sorts of problems. Bassey be very disappointed in himself for making the mistake that led to our goal that may give us the win here. A shot deflected, and for a moment you pause, waiting for Ederson to not be able to deal with that change in direction of the ball. Cole Palmer just taking his time, waiting to pick the right ball, and that could well be it. Kabore in. Haaland didn't really drive towards the line though. Foden, Erling. Good save by Back. Certain that Erling was going to bury that. 2-1, 13 to go. Pedri delivers up with Rodri, wide with Rodri. It's not... Oh, it was Ruben Dias, in fact. Sorry, my mistake. It's not as straightforward as a 7-0 drubbing against Southampton. But we are working hard for this result. And will certainly be able to be adjudged as having earned it, should we get it. Which we will now do. Palmer. Foden. Could have played that through to Haaland. Their defence, one man in their defence had dropped so very deep. Rodri just slowing up the play by putting the attacker off there with a sliding challenge. Fred out wide to Sulemana. Villa thought it was going to be a remarkable day when they went 1-0 up. In the end, it's a rather routine-looking, scoreline-wise, win for Manchester City. But as you've seen from the highlights, it certainly wasn't that routine a game at all. But it will be a victory nonetheless. 3-1, we win at Villa Park. We're delighted with the turnaround. Boos still ring out for Steven Gerrard around Villa Park, and understandably so, with just 3 points from 9 Premier League games now. Throwing away a 1-0 lead as well against the side chasing the title. Hopefully, I looked at those results, but my brain didn't actually take them in. I don't know if Leeds were in that, to see if Leeds have won and gotten themselves through to the next... I was going to say through to the next round because the Carabao Cup goes there. Did Leeds win again? They didn't. Leeds lost. They lost 2-1 at home to Tottenham the day after our round of fixtures as we approached the Carabao Cup game against Crystal Palace. So the gap at the top is down to 2. Up next, we hope to go through in the Cup against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Bellini, now 92 rated. Crystal Palace line up in a similar style to how they did in the Premier League recently. Galeno, Koita and Elanga up top. Fofana, Beltran and Kamara in the middle. All CDMs, all 84 or 85 rated. So strong midfield for Palace, although defensive, of course. They don't have any centre mids that are above 62 rated. So they have to play CDMs in the 3 central positions. So inherently then, they are going to be on the back foot, you presume. But if those CDMs have half-decent attacking nous, then maybe they might be able to be a little bit creative. But if the front 3 just do everything, and then the CDMs just stay there and try and keep the opposition out, then maybe they're set up perfectly for this test. They lead. I absolutely expected Koita to shoot there, and he's laid it off sideways. Simple finish for the Crystal Palace man. Nice little 1-2 here. And then you expect him to shoot. He doesn't. He sees his number 7 there. And unfortunately, Trufer can't intercept the ball. And Fran Beltran, who actually has won the bloody CDMs, gets in and gets the goal. That's my team. And Mbete, Truffert, Normand, Calderon, Mir and Grealish all in. As we potentially go out of the cup. Hopefully, thankfully, there is still enough time to turn this back round. But I don't like this trend of going 1-0 down early in a game of football. I don't like it one little bit. Kamara to Fofana. Fofana to Galeno. Fran Beltran at it again. And that's the sort of finish you expect from a CDM. Langa. Truffert stepping in, but it bobbles free to Fofana. Pedro Porro battling hard and comes away with the ball. And Bellini looking for Rafamir. Could do with a bit of that composure from the Champions League in the Carabao Cup now, if you don't mind, Mr. Rafamir. That'd be lovely. 2 goals and an assist against Marseille. And I could do with that again here. Elanga in behind, delivers it in. Koita is still going to fall for him. And they've scored again. Galeno, really lucky Crystal Palace, but 2-0 up. Thought we'd won a ball back there. Somehow he's kept it. And Ederson's not made any attempt to try and save that. He's just fallen over. Okay. 2-0 Crystal Palace. Now I'm starting to get a little bit worried that we might be going out the cup. But it's not the cup. If I'm to give myself some sort of silver lining, it's not the cup that we're desperate to win this year. That's the FA Cup domestically. Pedri turn, tried to find Calderon, does in the end. We'll tuck that back. Calderon looking for Rafamir. Shot blocked well by the defence, and Palace hold firm. So much for Palace only playing 3 CDMs in their 3 midfield positions and being on the back foot for the most of the game. The CDMs are getting fully involved in almost every single attack. And Mbete to Bellini as we'll try and catch them on the counter. Camavinga is with me here. And this might open up. It's a good ball for Rafamir. I need the support. Calderon is arriving. And here he is. Well, there he was anyway. Grealish. Pedri. Calderon this time maybe. Pedri instead. Good save by Rodak. How that ball ended up behind Alex Calderon. Infuriating. That's going to fall. Lelorme will knock this down. And Calderon still looking for his goal. He is ultimately left-footed despite the good goal he scored on his right in a previous game. Be lovely. Absolutely wonderful. Calderon spins. Pedri. 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 One back before half-time. Pedri proving that, yes, he can power finish from inside the box. Our 92 rated central midfielder brings us back in the game. And this time, passes do end up at the feet of teammates. Pedrosa. He's past me. Good block by Pedro Porro. I don't know what's gone on there, but we've come away with it. No, we haven't. Yes, we have. So, I'm not going to complain too much. There's a bit of a mix-up, to say the least. Calderon out for Pedro Porro. Bellini, well, he's calling for it, but he's not exactly making me any sort of offensive run, is he? If Calderon hadn't looked to get out the way of that, he might have been in a better position. Camavinga shows great strength there. Here's Pedri now, trying to squeeze it to Calderon. Camavinga, I'll get it to Calderon this time, and on his left. He's not placed it well enough. Maybe that couple of goals that Alex Calderon scored earlier in the season, they were a little bit out of sync with how good he actually genuinely will be long term in front of goal. Bellini to Pedro Porro to Bellini again. Been a while since Bellini scored actually. Camavinga inside. Pedri, lovely 1-2. Pedri again! Beautiful. Back in it, City. It's 2-2 on the hour mark and Pedri at the double. Gracias, Pablo. Oh, they see that number 3, they just didn't know which way to go, bless him. Well played, I'll take that. Enjoyed that. 2-2. Pedri across to Truffert. And Grealish. Pedri again. This is good. We're getting there. Calderon with the turn. He's begging for it, Grealish. He's kind of hoping that Truffert would get involved, but he didn't. Calderon. Pedri, he's on a hat-trick here, the Spaniard, but he's not going to get it. Good defending from Crystal Palace. Not great defending from me. And now Anthony Elanga's in behind. It is only 2-2. The game's not done yet, or even close to it. We're going to penalties if we can't find a winner, or Palace can't find a winner. So we do need a goal. Fancy from Grealish. Strictly necessary when a regular header would have done, but never mind. We've still got it. Bellini, little knockdown. Camavinga to Bellini again. Oh, it's a strong challenge, but Bellini's been able to find his feet and keep his balance. And out wide here to Pedro Porro. Camavinga, Pedri's making moves inside. Bellini's on a good run. Here he is, Fabio Bellini! Rodak with the save. Change is made for me. Pedri now going off, so no hat-trick for him. Bellini will deliver. Foden is on as well. Rafa Mir, I think that came off his shoulder. Indeed it did. De Bruyne's on as well. So, fingers crossed we can get this done. Well, I might give Erling Haaland 5 minutes to try and bag me a late winner. Galeno with a free kick. It's lofted in well, but it's not really aimed towards a teammate. And De Bruyne will get that into Bellini. Who will look for Grealish. Short to Haaland and then long for De Bruyne into the channel. I've got 2 actually in the middle. I'm trying to pull this back for Erling. He will then lay it off to Phil Foden, which was another very good stop from the goalkeeper. Now, I do have Erling to aim for from a corner now, but it's actually going to be, well, I was going to say Mbete underneath this, but that actually came off a Palace man, I think. Mbete intercepts that, though, and he's done well, and Foden finds Camavinga. Oh, but he just can't get it out of his feet. Mbete with another important interception. He's not had a bad game, Mbete. Oh, please be onside, Erling. I'm not sure if he was. Yep. Yep. A 10-minute cameo is all the big man needs. We will win by 3-2 at Selhurst Park. From behind against Aston Villa. From behind against Crystal Palace. And 2 down on this occasion. Could have sworn he was off. I'll take it. All day long. Thank you, Erling. The 89th minute. The quadruple lives. I've absolutely flattened him there. Piero Hincapié getting forward here. Zavislaga. Pedrosa to the left back. Pedrosa to the left back. Oh my God. Ederson made a save at the near post. Can you believe it? Keeper's up. Anthony Elanga with the corner. He's headed towards the goalkeeper. De Bruyne steers it away and get out. Victory in the Carabao Cup. It might not be the most glamorous of competitions, but that was an entertaining game of football. Newcastle United coming up next in the Premier League as we look to close the gap at the top of the table and maybe actually go top. We'll try our best. Wickham beating Nottingham Forest 1-0 there. And keeping a hold of the result as well from 75 minutes to 90. Wickham Wanderers into the 5th round of the Carabao Cup. Well done, lads. Into the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup, might I add. Newcastle's championship winning side, Premier League winning side from last year, of course. They won the title. Has a 91 rated Jamal Musiala in it. Mason Mount is here as well at 87 rated. The rest of the side are mid-80s as well. Chukwueze 85, Vimmer 84, Julian Alvarez up top is 86. So really good side this for Newcastle. Similar to how when we first joined City though, they have an 11 but not really much else. But turns out they didn't need, unless they'd lost players in the summer, they didn't need much else to try and win the league last year. They were able to get the job done. We've brought in extra players to try and help us compete on multiple fronts. Ederson makes a save! But Mason Mount still scores! And the champions lead at the Etihad. And that's a particularly frustrating goal to concede. Ederson makes a good initial save. And then that. Ugh. Jamal Lewis down the wing. The lowest rated player on the team at 77. The only man that isn't 83 plus. Bellini will get to that. Jamal Lewis is quick though. Is he quick enough? Doesn't seem like it. Bellini's in and at the back post. Ah, it was Dembele. Keeper's bloody headed it. Can you believe it? Pedri, Bellini, Foden, Dembele. Questions of offside. Nothing given. It's been given. Good header by Bremer, but it falls to Mason Mount. Of course, Julian Alvarez, a familiar face, former City man, and that I would have loved to have had as a backup striker. No offence to Rafa Mir, who has been decent when played. Foden to Dembele. Here comes Pedri. Have to go out wide again, looking for the space. Erling. Oh, it's going to go to Dembele. Here's Phil Foden. He hasn't scored many for me this season, but Philip Foden does the business this time. And we're level again. He went through the camera, I think. We've needed to come from behind in every game we've played so far today. We might just do it again. Don't know why I did that. Here's Vimmer. Oh, it somehow made its way through. You're having a bubble, aren't you? No sign of Julian Alvarez doing any sort of sorry or apology celebration scoring against his former club. How has that made it past the defender's foot? Just at the moment where I start to step and come out to meet the man, he's then played the pass. I step and then he's played the pass and Bremer's just drifted. Actually, he's hovered. If you watch his right foot is planted and he just hovers to his right and as such then can't get to the ball. If he makes that same animation but from where his foot is planted there, then he intercepts it. But his foot glides and then he can't reach it. And you wonder why people shout scripting. It's not scripting, it's just shitty gameplay. It's 2-1 Newcastle. Newcastle putting a lot of bin forward here. Bremer, I don't know where to go to try and close it down. As it happens, effort comes in from distance and it needs saving. Mount with a lot of power on that. Bremer just gets to the header. Chukwueze deflected by Julian. Not sure how much he knew of it. Nearly lobbed Ederson in the process. Ruben Dias to Phil Foden. Dembele's in front of me. Foden will find him. Come on, Erling, get in that channel. Where's the defender going? Oh, well, they scored. They scored a laughable goal. I've scored a laughable goal. What is the defender doing? Gameplay, defensive AI behaviour is so bad this year. It's so bad. It's worked in my favour this time. It's 2-2. Bellini back to Foden to Bellini again, and that's not worked either. Desperate to find a winning goal here to try and keep the pressure on at the top of the table. Newcastle trying to close the gap to be part of that group at the top of the table as well. They were 5th on the way into this, I think. Certainly there or thereabouts. Just outside the Champions League spots. Keeper will come for this. Had some really entertaining gameplay today. Albeit frustrating in the way that it's come about, but there's always been something to play for, always been something to fight for, and it's always been dramatic. Pulling this back and not finding Dembele. Oh! Can't believe he's not found the pass there. Cancelo intercepts, gets to it first. Pedri shakes off the attentions of the defender, looks for Erling, who's onside. He can't find Foden. Camavinga will get this to Dembele. Pedri's there. Overlapping run is coming from Cancelo. Driving down the line. Erling's come short. I need you in the box, Erling. Foden evades the challenge. Camavinga. Camavinga. No goal. Offside, surely, Okafor. No. And he's going to get a pen. Ooh, I need to see a replay of that. Surely he's off. No, he's not. Oh, God. He's onside. Draws the foul. Penalty given. Oh, no. Chance for Newcastle to win it. Ah! I went the right way and everything. And Newcastle will get a shock win at the Etihad by 3-2. Their second may have had question marks all around it from a FIFA perspective. But he was onside. It was a foul. I can have no qualms with the penalty that was given. Oh, it was rightly adjudged to be a foul and given as such. We could have had 5 or 6 goals today. But it's only going to be the 2. And it's to be defeat at home against Newcastle United. Has it been coming? With the form we've been in? Maybe. Going behind to come from behind to win. Just one too many times. Julian Alvarez out to Jamal Lewis. Pedro Porro in the way, but there isn't time for the counter. It's to be a 3-2 defeat this time. Boos. Big boos around the Etihad as Newcastle win with a late penalty. Oh, that's gutting. Arsenal beat Bournemouth. Manchester United leads as a huge game. Please draw that. Please draw that. If they do, then we're still within 3 points of top spot, I believe. They did draw that. They did draw that. Last game of October, what was it? How did it end? 1-1. But Liverpool, with a 4-0 win over Aston Villa, now they go top. This is going to be a very good title fight, isn't it? Drama all the way. It's been drama all the way through today so far, and still we have the game against Marseille to come next. Border upset about some of the progress. Don't worry about that, lads. If I win all the bloody trophies, you're not going to care one tiny little bit about whether I have or haven't signed a couple of youth players, are you? Right, Marseille at home. Everybody's fully fit, so I'll go to the pre-match press conference. We'll boost morale, make sure that everybody is getting as big a boost as they possibly can. We'll go to the interactive sim and we'll win in the Champions League. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Break. Corner for us after 5 minutes here against Marseille. If we can win this, then we're almost certainly guaranteed progression through to the knockout stages after 4 games in the group, despite still having to play Roma and Steaua Bucharest for a second time. If we draw it, then we probably only need a result against Steaua Bucharest. If we lose it, then we need to win against Roma and Steaua Bucharest. But I don't anticipate us losing this. At the risk of jinxing myself, we absolutely should be strong enough to win this fixture. And win it well. Dembele's in, Haaland's there, good save by the keeper. 25th minute, it's still 0-0. Dembele. Nice turn. Foden. Haaland. Surely goal. Erling cannot be allowed that amount of space in the box. He will finish it every day of the week. On the brink of half-time. Goal for Manchester City. Number 9. Erling Haaland. Resume game. Maintain scoreline. Maybe in January. I need to look for a winger more so than I do a forward man. Or maybe recall someone from loan. Actually, I've got Cole Palmer. I should maybe put Cole Palmer on the bench to allow me that wide option. He's offside there. So I'll do that moving forward. And Cole Palmer, incidentally, from there, will end up getting more first-team football than he has had exposure to so far this season. And it might actually help boost his growth. He's already grown up to 78, but We'd love to get him up to his shirt number, which is 80, by the end of the season, I'm sure. If not further, who knows? Around the corner here. Oh, it's loose for Joao Cancelo, who can't keep it in anyway. Oh, we've got a free kick in a good position here. Am I going to get the chance to take this? No. Why did you not tell me I could take it? Never mind. Doesn't matter. We're going to win the game. It's going to be 1-0 to Manchester City. We are all but through in the Champions League group stage. Roma beat Steaua Bucharest as well, which even further cements our spot in the knockout stages. Doesn't help us secure top spot in the group, but with 6 points to gap and 2 games to play, and having beaten Marseille twice, we're through. So now we need to beat Roma and then make sure that we beat their result when we play Steaua Bucharest and they play Marseille. Try and get top spot. Although evidently there are going to be some second place sides that are just as good as some of the first place sides. So yeah, doesn't really matter, I don't think, whether we finish first or second, because regardless, we're going to come up against a really tough round of 16 opponent. Right, first game of the next episode will be Bournemouth, and from there it'll be Leicester, Roma, and Tottenham Hotspur, and we'll sim the game against Poland in the qualifiers for Euro 2023. We've Wycombe Wanderers in the Carabao Cup. If we don't win that, I deserve sacking. Right, we're 4th in the league, but still very much in the title fight. Liverpool on 22. We're just 3 points off top of the table. We could have been top of the table if we'd have beaten Newcastle, but you can't win them all, and we didn't. I'll see you tomorrow.